Welcome to the Joe Cortez Show here in Las Vegas, Nevada, the entertainment and the sports capital of the world. First of all, we want to wish you all a happy 4th of July. You can see we're patriotic here, the blue, red, white. We got all colors in the background. We got to do something special for you guys. Anyway, today we have a special guest, Wanda Weaver, and we have my co-host, Shelly Stevens, who's been with me for about a year now as a co-host, and we're having a great time doing these shows. The reason why we bring these shows on is because we want to share our knowledge and wisdom and try to educate you a little bit about what's going on in our community and around the world. It's not a newscast show, but it's a show that just try to educate one another. We all learn so much from having a guest on the show. So today, Wanda Weaver, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I've been here in Las Vegas for about 7 years. Originally, I'm one of those LA transplants, so but I'm here to stay. So took a little while to adjust to Las Vegas, but I'm liking it now. Well, I just miss the beach.
You're gonna save some money by living here, though.
Oh yes. LA is a little bit out of control, to say the least.
Yeah.
So anyway, no regrets. Yeah.
We have you here today because I met you the other day at Lola's restaurant where Shelly and her husband performed.
Yes.
Every Saturday night. And I believe you were there with your nephew, was it? And your
my brother and my mom. Yeah, my mom, my 96-year-old mom.
She's 96, right?
Yeah,
she's amazing.
I know.
She was dancing on her way out to Lola's restaurant.
That's how she's made it to 96. She's still going strong.
And
she may make it to 100. Who knows?
I was talking to her. See how sharp she was.
Oh yeah.
She
doesn't miss a beat. She does not miss a beat.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, Millie D. They all know her as Millie D.
My mother made it to 99. 3 months short of 100. May she rest in peace.
Oh my goodness.
But when I saw your mother, it reminded me a lot of my mother.
Yeah.
About at that age, how sharp they still are.
Yeah, she's very sharp. Very sharp. Yeah.
So
strong spirit.
So tell us a little bit about. You moved to Vegas 7 years ago? 7
years ago, yeah. So I haven't looked back. Every now and then I go to LA to see the beach, or I got to find a beach.
Yeah.
But but I'm pretty much a transplant and resident of Vegas now. So I'm adjusted.
Yeah. When we first met her, it was also at Lola's. Yeah, a couple years back, and I was just so enthralled by her and her brother and her mother. Millie D is like so sweet and so loving. And we just became friends who became family.
Yeah, we became family.
Yeah.
Really good.
Oh God, I love her so much.
I love when she was walking out the restaurant with your brother, and she was dancing on her way out to the door.
With her cane, okay.
So everybody was applauding when she was dancing going out.
I know. Weren't you dancing with them too at the German American Club? We performed there.
Yes, absolutely.
She was dancing
she's got to get her dance
Sally.
on.
Yes.
She's got to get the dance on.
Oh my God.
I guess that's what keeps her young.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I see now, at your young age, you're doing a lot of things. One of the things that you're doing right now is you wrote a book.
I wrote a book, Reckoning in Gainesville. It's my first novel. I've written some scripts before. I don't know if I can show it, but anyway, it's a Reckoning in Gainesville.
Yeah.
My first novel, and I've written some scripts before and had a couple of shorts made, that were produced and all of that. But this is my first book, and part fiction, part truth, So
wow. Tell us about what it's about.
Well, it's about a young black man who's like the first doctor in Gainesville, Florida in the 1940s. And he's a witty, funny guy, very smart, went to Shaw Medical School, one of the few black medical schools back then. I mean, the black people couldn't go to any university back in the 40s.
In the 30s, you say?
Well, he actually, late 30s, early 40s, in Gainesville, Florida. So, he was kind of right in the midst of the oppression, the racism, the overt segregation and all of that. But, he overcame all the odds and became a doctor and, family practice, started his own practice and all that. But, yeah.
So he became a doctor back in Gainesville, Florida.
Yeah, went to Shaw University.
He was the first Afro-American doctor?
Yeah, that's what the story's about, that he's the first African-American doctor, and find out who did this, And so that's kind of the story. And then he's a interesting character anyway, in that he never leaves the house without his black medical bag and has a pistol that he keeps. So he's prepared for any kind of situation. And
if anything happened, he goes to his bag, he said, I'm going to inject you with my pistol. I'm going to give you an injection with my pistol.
Stay still, huh? Don't move.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Oh my God! Yeah, so he was pretty bold. Yeah, he had a pistol in case there was a situation that he couldn't get out of, and fortunately he didn't really have to shoot anybody. But once he did have to shoot the gun up in the air to scare some people off. So
you're talking about that bag. I'm gonna tell you a little story. Something that happened to me. I was working in the field of ophthalmology, and I was working with. I was doing a vision screening program in the community. I was doing I created a program where we go in-house screening where seniors couldn't get out. So I went to this area in Spanish Harlem. I went to this area, and no, I take it back. It was in the Bronx. I went to the Bronx. And I'm walking, and Sylvia, my wife, was helping me out that day, and she had a white lab jacket, and I had a white lab jacket on, and I had a black case, like a doctor's case, but it's a case. I had my vision screening equipment in there, and two guys. You can see the guys, they were thugs in the neighborhood, and they came up to me and said, "Hey, Doc, can we help you with that bag?" And I said, well, in this bag, I got HIV samples of blood, for the, okay, Doc, it's okay. And they ran away,
Right.
But I had to come up with something. They were ready, I was ready to be bugged, man,
That was so smart, though.
Quick thinking. You had to be sharp and quick on your feet, man.
You got to be fast,
You do.
If you're born and raised, I was born and raised in Spanish Harlem, New York. But this area was in the Bronx. One of the 5 boroughs, Bronx is one of them.
Right.
And I went there, and we were doing the screening, and I remember I remember like if it was yesterday. But you know what? I was still young, and I was still, my mind told me, don't try to get involved with two thugs, because you better come up with an excuse. I came up real fast, and I gave him that excuse, and that was really one of the best things. So your story about Dr.
Randall,
Dr.
Randall. But it's based on a true story. My great uncle, who was Hayden Floyd, and we don't know if he was one of the first black doctors, but he was definitely the first line of black doctors in the South, in Gainesville, Florida. And my dad always talked about him because he helped raise my dad, and that he was witty and funny and made people laugh, and just extremely bright and kind of accepted in the white community and also in the black community.
Right.
So he kind of was able to walk that line without getting his head blown away.
He was able to do a lot of good things and open a lot of doors for a lot of individuals
absolutely,
out there.
Absolutely. So
that's why we need more today. That's why today you can see United States. Let's be united.
July 4th. Oh my gosh!
It's a special weekend, July 4th weekend coming up, and Shelly and her husband are going to be performing. We have a little 4th of July party at my place. Actually,
nice.
We're going to have them performing there, and they're going to be nice because, 4th of July only comes around once a year. But pretty soon, the United States is our 250-year anniversary for the United States,
Wow.
So it's been back then. Our first president was President Washington, right?
Yeah, George Washington.
A lot of people don't know. Yes, a lot of young folks out there that don't know who was the president 10 years ago.
I know.
But all remember who was the first president of the United States. George Washington. So he opened the doors for the political arena to get started, everybody, and we're all united, and I think we should be that way. Anyway, let's forget about politics. Let's talk about your stuff. Let's talk about you.
Yeah, she's also, besides being a writer, she's also a producer. An actor. Tell us some more stuff about what
I'm trying to get into that, short film. Just did a short film. It's kind of political slant, about what the country's going through right now and the political parties fighting and all of that. So we did a short. It's like a 20-minute short, and we're still in the process of editing it, but hope to have it out and do the film festival circuit and all of that, and see what happens. Maybe it'll hopefully get it on TV somewhere.
Salute you.
Thanks. It was hard work though. It's like I'd never really kind of tried to be the writer, and I'd been the writer before, but never been like the writer, producer, director. And I had a guy who's he's a known director, and if he hadn't been there, I'm not sure I would have been able to finish it. It was a lot of work.
Well, I'm talking
a lot of work.
You're in a field where a lot of Afro Americans got involved with. I had the honor of meeting a good friend, turned out to be a friend, Sidney Poitier. I got to meet him in the Bahamas one day. I was doing a championship fight out there.
Wow.
And he's about 6. Well, he was about 6'3", 6'4", tall, very tall. Nice guy, very polite, very caring to everybody. But he was talking to all of us in the lobby. We were there about half hour sitting down, just talking. It was a lot of fun. Sidney Poitier. Then I became good friends with Denzel Washington.
Oh, Denzel?
Denzel,
Wow.
He got a phone.
Wow.
What a nice man he was. You know.
Yeah, it sounded like he was really, it's nice to know that some of the actors are really nice in real life,
so
they're not jerks.
Another guy that was, people think he was funny all the time, was Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy, we did a movie called I Spy, and it was we filmed it up in Vancouver. Okay. So him and I and the team, we spent 6 days together, And I tell you, Eddie was a nicest guy you want to meet in the world.
Oh, really?
Kind, loving. He's not a jokester out there. He just likes to talk with people, be nice, but kind of low key.
Yeah,
really
he's kind of down to earth,
but very
real.
Down.
Yeah,
not the Eddie Murphy you see on the screen.
Right.
The real Eddie Murphy is a quiet young man who just has. And I said, Eddie, so you're very quiet. I mean, what do you do to keep yourself busy? He said, Joe, I got 10 kids, So I stay busy with them.
He was busy in that department. He was busy. I didn't know it was 10 though. I thought he had like 7 or 8. Did he really have 10?
It went for 10 now. Yeah. Last time I saw him a couple of years ago, he told me he had 10.
Oh my God.
Yeah, and he had a couple of the younger ones, 20, 21, 22, 23.
Yeah, I'm sure some of them got to be grown.
Yeah, they were up there, and there were 2 of them, the daughter and son were there. I got to meet them. Yeah, very nice.
Yeah. Well, hopefully he's living the life, and living off of his money and whatever he made from movies and stuff. Hopefully,
you do the right thing. I feel sorry for P. Diddy. I got to meet him, and see what's happening with him.
Yeah.
He beat 3 of those counts. The 3 major ones, he beat them. He got a.
But they're saying he could serve up to 10 years.
Yeah, 10 years.
But I mean, he won't serve. If they give him that, he won't serve that. Yeah. I don't think. But anything could happen, I guess.
Probably maybe say 4, 5 maybe. But you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I don't want to see that happening. I got to meet him in Great Britain when I was doing a fight. Back in the dressing room, we were with a fight at Prince Nassim I met. He was with him. We were talking. Anyway, we had a little conversation back there. But it was sad to see that happen. We have a lot of individuals that make it. I got Gina. There's a referee named Gina Rodriguez. There's an actress named Gina Rodriguez, a young girl, up-and-coming star.
Okay.
And I met her when she was like 12 years old. Her father took me to see her perform in Chicago, a little storefront, little place on a Saturday afternoon. Went to see the little girl Gina Rodriguez, who now happens to be a very, very popular movie star now.
Yeah, heard her name.
Yeah, I lived in Atlanta for a while, and it's funny to see stars now. Well, they weren't stars then, but now I said, I know them. They're doing commercials, or they're in a Tyler Perry film or something. I said, I worked with them back a few years back. I'm glad to see they hung in there and that, they're having some success, So you want to root for people who make it, and just hang in there and don't give up,
But, you look back you look at some of these films and movies, giving it all away, money didn't mean anything to him. Now, Floyd Mayweather's different. He says he's a money man. He got all the money in the world. But let's see if that's really true. I've heard some rumors, but let's see. I hope he comes out okay.
Yeah.
He gave me a tour of his house one day with ESPN. I was doing some work with ESPN, and he gave me a tour of his house. I said to him, hey, Floyd, you've done pretty good for yourself, not only in boxing, but in your private life.
Yeah.
And now it comes out that he's made over $1 billion in
his fighting career?
In his boxing career. Not many fighters can make that kind of money. Yeah.
I believe you also won an award, I think, at the what's it called? Urban Media Makers Film Festival in Atlanta.
And that was from an earlier script,
Really?
A mystery I wrote called Delusional. That's a whole other story about a psychiatrist who finds out, he's sicker than some of his patients. So he was really the one who was crazy,
that
not the patients.
Did you do any acting yourself?
A little bit. I've been doing it in the last year, just a little bit, bits and pieces and things that come up,
That's
So it's
good.
kind
Do
of
you
fun.
have an agent here?
No.
Okay. Well, I need to find a good agent.
Okay.
I did Broadway musicals back in the day, and I would love to get back into acting. I used to do extra work when we first moved here. We would sit in the casinos and act like, we were on the machines and stuff. But I haven't really found a good agent here in Vegas.
I can ask around some of the actors we just worked with. And one was telling me, you don't need an agent. Just go on, get on the casting sites or whatever, and you can actually audition for stuff. And he said they just take 10 or 15%, so you can find some of the work yourself. I said, okay, well that's another option, I guess.
It's funny you say about agents. People say, Joe, how do you get into all those movies? Who's your agent? I said, I didn't have an agent.
Didn't have an agent.
Yeah.
You know, I got a tap on the shoulder. I
See?
look back, so it's
Yeah.
still
It's all
on.
about who
Yeah.
you know.
He said, Joe, I was watching you, the referee. I do the movie, Rocky Balboa. I want you to be the
Oh
referee.
my gosh.
Give me information. He was saying with Sugar Ray Leonard, I remember, at the MGM Hotel when I was doing the championship fight. But that's how it is. Same thing with Eddie Murphy. He came right up to me and said, Joe, I need you in a movie.
Yeah.
Same thing with
It's
Antonio
about
Banderas.
contacts and who you know.
I guess by being a referee helped me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And it wasn't because I'm not pretty like Muhammad Ali, but I was
He
just
never let you forget about it. I'm pretty, yeah.
I
You know,
know. Oh my God, Muhammad Ali. He was like one of the first celebrities I met when I was a flight attendant with
Really?
Pan Am. So you know how old I
Oh
am.
my
yeah.
goodness.
Yeah,
Wow.
but he was so sweet and so kind, and he was in
He
first
was.
class. And he told me to go in the economy section and bring all the kids up in the first class.
Oh,
and he sat down
really?
and did magic tricks for
Oh
them.
my goodness!
Yeah.
Wow. So
Yeah.
he was a nice
He's
guy.
very, very
I
nice
figured he was
guy.
like that in
one day
real life.
I was with my daughter Christine, my youngest daughter, and she was about 3-4 years old. And I remember he picked her up. I had some event in New York, and he picked her up. And my daughter was a little nervous. She didn't know who he was. You know, she was so nervous. He said, "Joe, that girl gonna be a beautiful little baby when she grows up." Yeah, that was Muhammad. He was like that. He loved kids.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's real
Yeah.
sweet.
Well, that was
Oh
sad
my
that what
God.
happened to him too. You
Yeah.
know, but
Yeah.
you know, at least he made his money, and yeah, he'll probably always be known as one of the greatest
Oh,
boxers.
yeah.
For sure.
No doubt.
Definitely.
His name stays and
Ever.
will be in history forever. You know, he
Yeah.
has a grandson that's boxing now. Yeah.
I know the daughter was it one.
he had
The
a-
daughter was, but then she retired or
Her name
whatever.
was Lila. I got to referee her twice.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But-
she
but
was
he
doing
has a-
okay, and then she got out of it.
Yeah,
I
she got
guess.
out.
Yeah.
But he has a grandson that lives here in Henderson.
Really?
Yeah, in Henderson, Nevada. He's a professional boxer. He's doing
Oh,
pretty
I
good.
didn't know that.
Great.
Really?
Yeah, he's fighting for top ranked boxing now.
Oh,
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
cool.
So, what is he in his 20s or kind of the
Yeah,
grandson?
he's about
I mean-
21.
Oh, okay.
21,
So he's
22,
young.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he's around
youngster,
there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
him and my grandson are
Isn't
friends.
that something?
Yeah.
So the grandson's taking it up. but-
Nico Ali. Yeah, he kept the name Ali. They told him keep the name Ali because
Yeah, yeah.
he was his grandson. But then he got his real name from his father. But he used the name Nico Ali, whatever his last name is.
Okay.
But then they know him as Nico Ali.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, take advantage of
Yeah,
it.
they take advantage of the name because not everybody can say of the grandson of Muhammad Ali.
Oh my God.
You know, but
The
he got-
greatest.
he got three beautiful daughters and several grandchildren, Muhammad
Oh
Ali.
my goodness.
So they're all nice.
Wow.
Yeah, beautiful.
Well, he left a legacy for sure.
Yeah, for
You know,
sure,
the
yeah.
boxing, and then with his family and kids and
For sure.
everything, grandkids.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Wow.
he didn't make the money today like they have today.
Oh yeah.
You know, today these guys fight for 20, 30, 40 million dollars. You know, Ali didn't make that in his whole career. You know,
Really?
these fighters get this per fight. Yeah, these fighters today.
Everything's changing in sports, though. I'm so glad to see women finally, you know, kind of getting their
Oh,
due
yeah.
and making some money.
Yeah.
And, you know,
Exactly.
I've been to the Aces games. I mean,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
so much fun.
The Aces here in Las Vegas. Yeah, you know they call it Las Vegas the boxing capital of the world, but now it's also the entertainment and the sports capital of the world because you have all sports here. You know, we got
Yeah.
hockey,
Yeah,
we got
that's
the
true.
Raiders football.
Raiders are here.
Yeah, we got the Aces women's football.
Yeah.
We got women's volleyball.
Yeah.
And we got hockey. We got it all.
Yeah.
No,
and
no,
I hope a basketball team is coming. That's what they're saying.
We
It's in the works.
had a meeting yesterday. It was brought about the meeting about the working out with the NBA to get a team here.
But we're going to have a team, I
Yeah,
think.
but no, we got the athletics. The Oakland A's going to Las Vegas next
Right.
in 2
Yeah, I
years.
heard about that.
They're
Yeah, I heard
building
about
the stadium right across from the MGM Hotel here in Las Vegas on the Strip, where the Tropicana Hotel was at.
Right.
And that got imploded, and now they're doing all the groundwork right now, getting ready to build a stadium. They're going to be amazing. I mean, we're going to have so much happening in Las Vegas.
Too much happening. 'Cause it's just like it's not congested enough. And you're right here, Las Vegas Boulevard. I hate to complain, but good Lord.
You know, I see what's happening in California. The price is going up through the roof.
That's what's gonna
And
happen
now
here.
Hollywood is going to start moving over to
Well, I
Vegas.
hear, Sony's supposed to be opening a studio, building a studio. I think in Summerlin.
Yeah.
So
I heard
that's
that.
what I heard.
Yeah,
So,
I know Mark Wahlberg is supposed to be doing something here in
he's
Vegas.
doing something too. I
Yeah.
think he bought some big house or something.
Yeah.
Down in
Great.
Henderson, maybe.
Yeah.
But the stars are coming. That's probably That's a good thing, maybe, you know, I hope.
I also read that you were also a ghostwriter on something called Your Honor, Your Honor. What was that about?
Oh, yes. Well, that was a book that actually a retired judge wrote. And she was a judge who was part of the whole Motown scene, Leona. And she and her sister were twins, identical twins. And they both became judges. They both went to law school, became black women, too, and became judges. And the book is about her kind of recovering from the loss of her twin sister. The twin sister died suddenly and unexpectedly, and so the book is kind of part of her healing to kind of get over that, because it took her a while to get if you can imagine. I mean, I lost a brother, and that was devastating.
Yeah,
if you can imagine having an identical twin, and they just all of a sudden are just gone.
You talk about twins, and your last name is Weaver. You had those three brothers, the Weaver brothers. The Weaver brothers, and they were all fighters, but Mike was the only one who became heavyweight champion.
He made it,
He was heavyweight champion. They were built like they were built on it. Something like mine.
I didn't know there were three of them boxing.
Yeah, triplet Weaver, all three of them box.
Wow.
Only one really made it to the top. That was Mike. He got stopped by John Tate in the 12th round. We were winning the first 11 round. The 12th round, he got hit with a shot. And John Tate knocked him out. John Tate became heavyweight champion. And John Tate, nobody talks about him because he didn't live there too long.
That's all it takes is a knockout, and I guess it's all over for you.
Lights out. Lights out. That's it.
Okay. We know who the winner is.
So when you're a ghostwriter, what does that mean? Somebody tells you about the story?
Yeah, I sat down with her. I didn't get credits or anything, and that was fine. That was what was negotiated up front. But basically, I helped her tell the story. I guess she didn't feel comfortable enough with writing. Not everybody's a writer and feels comfortable with it. So we worked together, and I kind of helped her polish it up a little bit. But and she paid me, so I got paid money. And it's fine.
Well, I'm going to keep that in mind. I'm going to keep that in mind about you ghostwriting.
I know you have a story, Shelly.
Girl, I had started writing, but you get busy and then you stop.
Life gets in the way.
Yeah, and my husband and I, between entertaining so many years, we traveled to over 60 countries. I got lots of stories to tell, especially on cruise ships.
Those cruise ships? I bet you saw some stuff that you wish you had seen.
And I wrote them down. I have journals. I have about 5 journals worth of stuff, but I just never had time to really put it together. So maybe one day.
Yeah, it does take time. But what you can do is just commit a chunk of time each week. That's what it takes.
Okay,
it doesn't have to be a lot of time. Just say, okay, I'm going to write for half an hour. I'm going to write for an hour.
That'd be great. I
but
already
it's
got
about
my
the
title
regular
in mind and everything.
My family's been telling me, Joe, you got to write a book.
You should.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Should.
There's so much stories behind me. I said, I'm going to do it soon. I said, I really got to do it soon because one day I'll be gone because all my history. Because now people, they don't remember.
Or even if it's just start recording it or something. You may not even have to write it all down. Just record it so you have an audio history of this. And then even if later on family members or something pull it together.
Yeah, I was over his house last week. I was helping him because he's moving stuff out of, he has like a real big boxing gym in his house, right? And so anyway, it's a big property that he has, right? It's called the Mansion, and he used to have his family living there and everything. So now that the families have all moved out and got their own houses and stuff, he wants to sell this place. So we were packing up. I was helping him pack up the stuff, and he has so many pictures and awards hanging up everywhere. So every picture I was helping him to pack up, he would explain the history of each one, and I was like, "You need to have a writer here right now." We need to record it. Next time I'm over there, we are going to record everything you tell me.
So we're doing that with my mom, just kind of her life growing up in the South and, what she experienced and the whole thing. I kind of wish I'd done it before my dad passed away. But I have this story because that's what he told me. It's based on a true story.
That's great. That's
you have to get a story out there with your mom because she's still sharp. He remembers everything.
She does.
You gotta do that.
She remembers growing up on the farm in North Carolina. And she said, I never got sick. The woman has never really she didn't get any of the childhood illnesses. Wow. And now, other than her eyes, the glaucoma, she really doesn't have any other, and blood pressure. She takes high, for high blood pressure. That's it.
Is she on medication for glaucoma?
Yeah. Drops. She takes the drops.
Is it yellow, white, or blue?
She takes 3, I think. I think it's yellow, and orange, and blue.
Yeah.
There are 3 different things for her
Yeah.
For the
For the you know, a lot of people don't know there's no cure for the glaucoma, but the drop that they take, one of them is Timoptic. They take these drops, and these drops you got to take them like twice a day.
Yeah.
And one day I was talking to Willie Mays. Willie Mays and I were good friends when he was alive, and we were talking one day on the phone. He said, "Joe, you know, I came down with glaucoma." I said, "Really?" I said, "Are you taking the Timoptic, the yellow, white, or blue?"
Yeah.
He said, "Joe, how do you know about that?" I said, "Well, I'm working in the field of ophthalmology, and there's no cure for glaucoma, but the drops will control it. It won't get any better and no worse.
Keep your tension or the pressure low.
Keep the pressure low.
Right.
So the drops will keep you right there. You won't get no better, but no worse. It keeps it under control. And look, you keep taking those drops, you'll be okay.
Yeah.
But the family members, like children and grandchildren, they all got to get their eyes checked because that's hereditary.
Yeah.
The glaucoma. Yeah, make sure.
Yeah, my aunt and my brother have an issue with glaucoma. So far, you know, I've been lucky. She said, "No, your pressure's fine right now, but we'll keep checking it."
At least.
Yeah, but I see the eye doctor at least twice a year.
Hey, there you go. Right.
Yeah,
so important. A lot of people don't know about these things, but you know, eye care is so important. There's when your feet hurt, you go to a podiatrist. Your back hurt, you go to chiropractor.
Yeah.
Your teeth hurt, you go to a dentist. Right. Your eyes, you never feel no pain.
Yeah.
Your vision
it can happen so quickly too. You lose your vision.
Glaucoma is like a thief in the night. It'll sneak up on you.
Yeah.
Because by you not taking taking care of it overnight, it's like you put a rubber band around your finger. You keep tying it up, it gets black. All of a sudden, there's no all the pressure.
Right.
It builds up on your eye, and what happens is that overnight you can lose your vision overnight.
Wow.
I will tell you one thing. I haven't told this to many people.
So
when I was in the field of ophthalmology, I got a key to the city of Cicero, Illinois. I got a key to the city of Patterson, New Jersey, and a key to the city for Newark, New Jersey, for saving seniors from going blind. You see, we're my program.
Wow.
Okay?
Wow.
And that's something I can talk to you guys about. Get your eyes checked out.
Preventative medicine, See the eye doctor at least once or twice a year.
You get yourself checked for your high blood pressure, for your low blood pressure.
You got to stay on top of that.
Whatever. Your diabetes, your eyes, and all that. But eyes are very important. And
we take it for granted. It's one of those things, just like walking and moving around, and just waking up every morning. We take it for granted.
And a lot of seniors suffer from, not that they suffer, but they have cataracts.
Yeah, cataracts.
You're diagnosed with cataracts, and sometimes the cataracts are not ready to be taken out. But when they call it phaco emulsification. It's an ultrasound technique version what they use, where you tell the doctor they're going to do a phaco procedure on the patient, meaning they're going to go with an instrument and they do a little cut on the corner of your eyeball, and they go in there and they remove your lens that you're born with. Your lens, and then they put
that's what cataract surgery is.
It's like the lens turns like an amber color, and they remove that, and they put an intraocular lens in your eye, and then it's like removing a dirty window, putting a clean window. And that's why so many seniors in the 80s and 90s and I can see much better because they got cataract removed. Anyway, with that said, guys, we have to say thank you so much
for being on the show with us. I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure. Keep up with your good work. I'm very proud of you.
I will.
We'll to see you keep doing great. More books, and maybe the movie come out.
That's the plan. That's the plan. So thank you so much.
I want to say happy 4th of July on Friday, tomorrow, and then we'll still be continuing the party Saturday at Lois. So make sure you stop by. All right.
Saturday night at Lois. So you got to take care. Keep your guards up all the time. Keep your guards up all the time. Protect all the time, man. 4th of July to all my friends out there.
All right.
Bye-bye.